Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to Prime Tuesday's edition for the week, an edition that is dedicated to discussing issues of relationship and marriage. This evening, we are going to be looking at the concept of love in a relationship and marriage, asking the question as to whether love has become a business commodity. Where is love in the love making that we are professing to either the man or the woman? Should we now pay for our wives to love us? Should we pay for our husbands to love us? Because the situation is becoming unbecoming. We are recording cases of suicide, we're recording cases of blackmail, we're recording all sorts of things, and seemingly the poorer you become, the more difficult it is for you to get a wife or a girlfriend. Where are we getting this new attitude from, knowing that in the past, even without money, we could see persons living happily in love? If time permits, we also are going to be looking at the issue of privacy in marriage. Do we, as a husband or a woman married in a couple, say that we have privacy either for this or that? And if at all privacy is supposed to exist, at what level should couples have privacy as to either their finances, to their phones, and to other related issues? We are discussing these two topics this evening with our panelists who are in the house already. Apostle Ambe Valentine Gwa is a permanent consultant. He's here with us. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. Good evening, my co-panelists. Good evening, Cameroonians. Thank you for staying glued to your screen as we bring you very important information and educative analysis as far as these topics are concerned.
We also in the company of Apostle Alfred Essingue, who is a regular panelist on our Tuesday editions of Prime Hour. Good evening, Apostle. We're glad to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. Good evening, Apostle Ambe. Good evening, Apostle Lefor. And good evening to all our people out there who are habitually listening to us and follow us strictly. Today is another day. Let's pay attention and get some deep truths that can help you fix your relationship or fix your marriage.
We also in the company of Apostle Lefor Divine. They call him the Love Doctor from Boya, Southwest Regional Capital. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Liu, and good evening, my able panelists, and good evening, all our beautiful viewers from all over the world. This is my Major Prime, and of course, this is your favorite program. We are very excited to be here again. I'm personally excited to be here all the way from Boya, and we are looking forward to a beautiful time. Let's gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. As usual, an interesting topic or topics, and I believe, as usual, you will not go back the same. So much in store for us today again. Thank you.
We are also going to be getting contributions from Bomen, the Northwest Regional Capital, through Mrs. Essingue Yvette, who is a regular panelist on this Tuesday editions of Prime Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa. When you look at relationships today, where do we place love in all of it?
Yeah, Mr. Leo, thank you, because I've been waiting for this topic, and I think it's a very, very serious issue to be treated. This is not just an issue that manifests with people who are in love, say fiancé, boyfriend, girlfriend, or partners. It has gone right into marriages, and homes are facing serious challenges with the subject. If love is a commodity, or love has been turned to merchandise. Well, let me begin by saying that we have to first of all be able to define what's love from the actual context, and then be able to understand if it has become a commodity in marriage or it is actually what it is. There is a difference between affection and love. And affection is the chemistry, as I define it, that brings two opposite sex together. It's that affection that draws two opposite sex, bring them together, but it's not love. And a lot of people have gotten married as a result of that affection. Many have gotten married because of that passion they have for each other, ending up tomorrow to realize that they have not been in love because the passion died or the affection died along the line. But to be sincere, love is consciously accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly of an individual. That's love. Consciously, deliberately accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly. One thing that is very bad these days are many people have turned to follow just the good, that refuse to accept the bad and the ugly. And there is nobody who is complete on earth as far as love is concerned. If you want to look at love from the biblical point of view, God loved us while we were yet sinners. So God did not love a good and perfect people. He loved people who were in error, who made mistakes. Some were poor, some were thieves, some were hungry, some were frustrated, some were sick. And that's the actual definition of what love is all about. So if at all we say love has become a commodity because people have accepted the good of love and of lovers, I beg your pardon, and they have refused the ugly and have refused the bad. So if you select that good, it then becomes now a commodity because you are trying to buy only what is good. People can't buy what is ugly, they can't buy what is bad, but they can buy what is good. So if we select only the good of our partners, that is, the care they give us, the money they give us, the attention they give us, the opportunities they give us, we don't accept the bad about them, we don't accept the ugly about them, it has now become a product, a commodity. So we are not buying what is good. But if actually we are in love, they will be ready to accept the good, the bad, and the ugly of an individual.
Why are we not ready to take the other side of relationships and marriage? Is it because of this saying that he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains a favor from God? So when you find it, you expect only the good, and then even during the blessings of marriages, they say for better. No, now the new trend is for better, for best. Yes.
Yes, those are slogans.
Yeah, but it is also working on persons.
Those are slogans.
Especially when the slogans are coming from men of God who are looked upon like the mouthpiece of God. The Bible says you shall decree a thing and it shall be established. Yeah.
Yes, that is true. What a man of God says is not what the word of God says. Okay. We should be able to differentiate between the man and the God. That is the problem. Like I said, Numbers 23 verse 8 says, 19 says, God is not a man that he should lie. In that text of scripture, it means God has licensed that man is a liar. The definition of man is him that lies and cries. A man will be lying here and crying to defend the lie. So God is not a man that he should lie. So the fact that men of God coin a statement and make it as a pronunciation over wedded couples is not a sign that that is a scripture. We should be able to align the scriptures and the slogans of men of God. As a matter of fact, that benediction that comes during marriage, those vows that we take, they are nowhere in Genesis to Revelation. They are nowhere. Some of those vows are coined by individuals for better, for best. Is no place, there is no scriptural defense to that. So the fact that some men of God coin something, it doesn't mean that the thing is right. Number two, Proverbs 18:22 says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtaineth favor from the Lord. So finding a wife means you have found a good thing. You have found a good thing, the thing is completely good. Because there are individuals that have different characteristics in them. So the truth is, when we come with the mentality of only this good aspect of an individual, it means we are trying to trade that aspect of the person. We are rejecting the negative and the ugly part of the person. But you see, true love accepts the good, the bad, and the ugly. That is why you see today most girls can never accept a man who doesn't have money, because money is good. The man can be decent, he may have good character, but because they don't see money in him, they don't accept it. So they are coming because of what they find good. The man might not have a good car, he doesn't have a good house, he doesn't have a comfortable environment, but a woman will not come to such a person because they are coming for that good. Economy say goods and services, good. So they are coming for that good. When you come for that good, you are a business person, not a lover.
Okay. How do we explain this phenomenon that is gaining ground across our society today, where people see relationship or marriage as the ground to exchange our poverty for riches?
Yes, life is made up of certain concepts, certain principles that if not well followed, you're going to get another side of life. It's just like if you apply a principle wrongly, you're going to find yourself in a wrong side of life. What people call love in an everyday life today, especially the modern day kind of love, is being described in psychology. Very simple. It has to do with the affective domain of human beings. Human beings have the affective domain, they have the cognitive domain, and they have the psychomotor domain of their lives. And many people exploit a lot on the cognitive. That is the intelligence, that is the knowledge, how to get knowledge of life, how to get, how to get money, how to get this and that. But so few invest in their affective domain, their ability to love and their ability to relate with their community and their society. That's why you see a very intelligent girl, very intelligent with high level of education and whatever, but very arrogant and very, nonchalant to parents and can just misbehave at any time or anyhow. You will see a very rich boy that you will think that maybe because of his money and exposure, he can be able to express feelings and some kind of, character-wise in the society. Then you see them behave and you'll be wondering and asking yourself whether this person ever went to school. Yes, they went to school, they developed their cognitive domain, but they play down on their affective domain. That is why you see a man will kill himself because he was poorly treated. That's why you see a boy will kill themselves because they were poorly treated. Now their affective domain was affected and they didn't know how to handle it, how to go about it. That is why you see they always send people to counselors to be able to help them in the area of the affective domain. A lot of people enter into marriage based on money, they based on the psychomotor and the cognitive domain. Psychomotor has to do with your musculoskeletal system, it has to do with your body, as you see like this. Some people look at the body. For example, you look at the beautiful girl, you see her shape, you see her design, you say, wow, this girl looks beautiful, this girl is so sweet, and you go in for that person in the name of love, without understanding that the affective domain does not operate like that. The affective domain first works with what we call the five senses. The five senses, that has to do with smell, touch, taste and all the like. Now when you feel that first feeling, something happens. That feeling tells you something. You have the choice to further investigate the feeling, which brings you to a point where you feel like something that you call love. But now people who are intelligent and wise enough and have developed the area of the affective domain, they are not going to dwell on just the five senses. How they saw the girl, she was attractive, they saw the guy, he was handsome, he was breasted, he has six-pack, and he has all that. That's just what we call the five senses. It has to do just with what you saw, and it has brought you a lot of problems because you thought that love is based on what you see. That is why people judge love based on how a woman looks, how a man looks, but they have forgotten that love is deeper because it deals with the affective domain. That's why you see somebody can kill themselves if not well handled emotionally. Let me tell you something. What we call love today is actually not love. It's basing and dwelling on the five senses of human beings. And now those five senses, when they can no longer work and they can no longer function properly, if that thing they saw is no longer there, it becomes a problem. At first you started with money, you introduce money, so that girl now is used to the fact that you can always give money. So the day they don't see money, love expires and love dies away. Now you start again. Maybe you tell them about your brother in America, you tell them about the riches of your family and everything. Now they come in and discover that there is nothing like that, or things like that don't exist. You see that love disappears because what they were operating upon is their five senses, what they heard and what they saw. Now those things are not there, they are paralyzed, they cannot go further. That's why you see in the primary school they always tell people to memorize rhymes and do meditations, and they do a lot of things to plant knowledge into the system of human beings. And now in our schools they have decided to go further. Education is no longer at the level of the cognitive, they are entering into the level of the affective, where they begin to teach you how to feel, how to appreciate people, how to talk nicely to people, and so on and so forth. So therefore love has something deeper than what you think. We're going to come back to that.
Okay, love and relationship and marriage. How did we get here? Love, doctor.
Love.
Love is becoming a commodity, eh?
Yeah.
We go to the marketplace. How much can you pay? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was when we decided that life we became a fast food generation.
Okay.
I think that's what happened. That's what happens when we are in a generation where nobody wants stress.
Sharp, sharp.
Yes, nobody wants stress. I think, like we have discussed here so many times, our parents would take time, investigate a family, not just the person. Investigate a family. They will tell you, wait. They would take time and look. Now, we're literally a fast food generation. Look at the way we feed. Quick. In fact, right in Boya now, girls don't cook. You know, I'm coming from the country of Boya. You know, they say it's a country on its own. It's a nation. Now, girls don't even cook. Girls now do but take away and supply. Now, they say my gel nails. This one does not wash dress. It's 10,000.
They go to pressing.
Yeah, I said 10,000. They don't wash nails. I cannot destroy my gel nails. 10,000 for nails. Yes, for nails at the hand. Now, where are we going to? You will discover, and then how can you explain a student environment have become one of the most expensive places to live in the nation? How can that be? Because it has become transactional, because we don't have time. It's just
Are you saying that in Douala girls don't demand money?
No.
In the villages girls don't demand money?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No,
Why are you concentrating
no.
on
When
that?
I was giving an example of the town where I am living in, and I'm not saying that that's just only happening only in Boya. Now I'm trying to explain what has happened to our generation. Now, and I was using Boya as a case study, which is personally where I am. And now the point is this: we are in a generation where, like I said, we don't have time to waste. I don't know if I can put it. We need things sharp. It's like, okay, what will make a boy who has enough money park their car and go and give 5,000 for a girl to sleep with on the road? Why? I don't have time to get to know a girl, to chat the girl, and then give me maybe the relationship, do her 6 times, take it go to my beach. No, we don't have time. So I need somebody now. Let's not stress. So it makes it now transactional. Yes. Because we are a generation that no longer look at what love costed the love master Jesus. It tells you that love is costly. I always say this, that love will cost you. It will cost you your time, it will cost you energy, it will cost you resources, it will cost you money and all of that. So look at dating today. A girl will tell you straight. A girl say, yes, if I want agree, tell me what I go gain for dating. Straight. A girl once said to me, say, you don't need for go to where you want time as man picking. I don't need for go now for ask for can give you for year. So you tell me where you go give me. So it becomes transactional because we no longer have time to wait. So I'm coming to, it's a simple question you ask: how did love, relationship, marriage get to that point that it is like a commodity? I would say our generation is a generation that hates anything that requires energy, that requires thought, that require. In fact, one of our greatest memes is, I beg anything want stress me for their life, I deliver me. No stress me, I beg. And that is that philosophy of in fact, even in Christianity, we are raising the weakest Christians in our time. That means people cannot even take one persecution. I'm not talking about persecution of deny Jesus and die. No, we're talking about persecution of you did go church, you did deny. Yes, so that is the major problem, Mr. Liu. I'm just trying to stay in a context of what you asked, and I'm saying that we are a people who no longer know how to place value on anything, and because of that we must always look for shortcuts, and that shortcut is what? Simple exchange. The girl knows that I offer sex, which they assume that is man's greatest food and need, and the man knows that, okay, these girls, they don't want to work, they need to be taken care of. How can you explain that a girl is not working but is playing jangi for 50,000 francs? Where is she getting the money to play jangi for 50,000 francs a week or a month? Yet you see that happening every day. I was on a program on Sunday, and I told and they asked about this thing. I said, a girl is not qualified to demand from a boy what the father has not given to them. Come and say they are making lists and sending to boyfriend at the month end. Say the month end already. Who's my allowance day? And you look at where we have gotten, how we have gotten here. I think we have diluted our work because we no longer want anything that is deep, because God, anything that God has made that is great, he has never left at the surface. Nothing. And that's why the Bible says, he that findeth every great treasure, you must dig deep to find. But now, since we don't have that patience and that ability to dig deep in our generation, we will always go for the surface things, and surface things must end up like this.
Okay, let's get a first intervention of Mr. Sanji Yvette from Menda. Tell us why we are also living this. I don't know whether it has been your experience or some of the persons who live with you out there in Bamenda have shared stories relating to what we're discussing this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening to my co-panelists. Good evening to our televiewers. Mr. Leo, we really need to talk about this aspect of love in relationships and marriages. Because the way the world is going, if you want to look keenly, in the nearest future, we might not have anything existing as far as love is concerned. Everything about love now is, if money is concerned, then love is available. If there is no money, there is no love. I mean, even to the extent where even in marriage, couples behave like, yeah, there's money, oh babe, I love you so much. And then when that money gets finished, that relationship turns sour. So we really need to re-examine the place of love in relationships and in marriages. And I want to say in marriages especially, because when it comes to relationship, I always encourage a limit to how much you can love someone. And my reason is always so you can be able to cope if you are not, or you will not last or end up with that person. We've had cases where people commit murder and the rest, just like the case in Boya, where that lady died due to heartbreak. Some say it was heartbreak, some said she could not cope without the money that the guy was giving her. I think she was served 500K for breakfast. That's what our young people have, to them, demonstrating love. Young people have gone to extremes. I mean, to the extremes where it is true, whether she killed herself for love or she killed herself for the money. How would they send you 500K for breakfast, and then you know that is your level, and then one day you get up in the morning and it shows that maybe you have to go back to your normal 1K or your normal 500 francs. So people have, I don't know, the youth they are so excited, and the way they have chosen to demonstrate this love, you see, it has resulted to a lot of untold stories. I mean, stories that touches the heart, like you hear of that suicide. In those days, I think people could love, but not this crazy kind of love that youths are demonstrating today. I mean, the men have chosen to use money to, portray the love that they have for the women. And women too now are very excited when it comes to that money. I mean, it has come to the level where it is difficult, it's virtually difficult for a man, a guy who has no money, to have a relationship. So they have, everything is now centered on money. Is love really a commodity? Everything is so much about money. That's why you see young guys don't even have patience to work. I mean, it is unbearable to know that in Bamenda, you just park your car. I mean, Bamenda people can tell you this. Park your car for 1-2 minutes and see if some boys will not come up to you and tell you, support us, give us. You look at them, they are mbanga smokers, they can harm you there, and then you are forced to give. That is, I mean, boys have chosen to, they are lazy to go and work because they don't want that they should pay them. They should be depending on 60K for a month or whatever as monthly salary. Many of them have resorted to scamming to have the money that will entice these ladies to fall for them. Many have resorted to all kinds of means. I mean, theft has increased. That means criminality. We live in a world where everywhere is, I mean, it's not like Bamenda, because at first we need to think that Bamenda is the crisis zone. No. Now we hear of kidnapping, even in Yaoundé, Douala, for what? For ransom. All of these things are done by people that are out for what? Just to live, you know, the kind of luxurious lives that they wish they can live, but they cannot work for that money. They want shortcuts. Our youth have gone into that. And they have carried our ladies, our young girls. I mean, the youngest are so carried away that you see that now they don't want to date any man that does not have money. In fact, if you don't have money, you are not good for a relationship. This is how youth have defined love in this present age. And it's a call for concern because it begins to make me have fears. What does the future hold? Honestly, if you want to look critically, there's nothing like love again in relationship or marriage. It is more of what you can give and what I'm benefiting.
Yes, but how do we get it, Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa, that a guy is splashing money on you as a show of his love for you? And we find so many girls today who would say, you know, if you even take care for me, you know, they show me concern, you know, the safety report, you do. How do we reduce that our relationship based on how much a man can provide? How did our parents live?
Mr. Leo, I think it's because we are abusing nature.
Okay.
Yes, I think that God gave women the female secondary sexual characteristics. First is for procreation. Secondly is for satisfaction. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 5, enjoy the wife of your youth, let her breast satisfy you continuously. But you see, one of the things I know that God did not give women as a business package is their private part and their breast. Where we find ourselves today is that particular thing that God gave them for procreation and for satisfaction, it has now become a business product. As a matter of fact, every lady sees herself like a business product for sale. That's the reason when you approach a girl, the first thing she starts thinking is how you're going to pay. And I don't think among the things that God outlined when he was giving you the female secondary sexual characteristics, he gave you as a business or a property or a commodity. If I thought God outlined that in scripture, then you would have been free to sell your breast, sell your buttocks, and sell your private part. But you see, women have added another function, which is more louder in manifestation than the original intent that God created those particular organs to be. Now, breast is for sale. Buttocks is for sale. To the extent that if a girl doesn't have buttocks that can attract a man, she uses money to inflate it, because now it's a product that must be packaged to a way that it can attract customers. When the person does not have good breasts, they inflate it in such a way that it can be packaged at the higher stage to attract customers. But to the best of my understanding, God did not give any of those things as commodities or market products. It is the abuse of nature. What God gave us to use for procreation, we are now using to sell. So there is a misplacement of priority. You have misplaced the priority of those organs that God gave you to bless humanity. Instead, you have turned it into marketable products. That's the reason why there is a packaging of those products these days in another dimension. It is heavily packaged in such a way that somebody must be attracted towards it. So if they begin to add value to buttocks, add value to the bread that God gave them naturally, it means they are trying to varnish, they are trying to package, they are trying to decorate the product in order to attract customers. And that is the reason why I say there is an abuse of nature. Secondly, women are the ones who are turning this particular love affair into a commodity, because men have nothing to sell. It's the women that have products to sell. The men are the buyers. And the man who is buying does not have commodity. So if you are talking about commodity here, it's the man who is selling that has a commodity.
Yes, but men are also inducing these women, because when you use money to as a means of catching the attention of a woman, are you not also inducing the woman to tell the friend that, hey, my guy give me plenty money, to also wanting to put pressure on the other one?
Mr. Leo, a man cannot suddenly remove money and start pouring on a woman if the woman has not given him some difficulties. Sometimes money becomes the last option. When gestures, advances have been made, they are not successful. The man now begins to use now money to buy what he was supposed to have given or taken successfully. When I ask you something, you refuse to give me. I plead, you refuse to give me. I give you reasons to give me, you don't give me. What do? I pay for it. It's the same thing with jobs in Cameroon. You go to look for a job, you are qualified, they refuse to give you. And they tell you, yeah, they must either enter through your anus or you must pay some amount of money. It's the same thing with concours in Cameroon. Those who are qualified, competent to pass the concours, they cannot pass. But those who have the money, pass. So when they make it difficult, that's when money comes. No one just sees a woman start throwing money on her. It's difficult. It's when the woman becomes complicated, difficult to give the man access to what is naturally supposed to be submitted to a man under legal procedures. Then the man begins to use now alternative means on how to get it. So I think to even further buttress this fact is the fact that people are already packaging and decorating and inflating and trying to bring to attraction something that God gave them naturally. What will cause a lady who has normal sized breasts to go and inflate it, to grow bigger because she wants to attract a man? What will cause a lady to burn her buttocks with all kinds of nitrogen gas because they want the buttock to inflate? That is because they are trying to package the product to call customers. So I think there is an abuse of the natural tendency, the natural ability, the natural skill, the natural elements that God has given to us to serve humanity. That breast on your chest, first and foremost, was designed for your husband. Secondly, it was designed for your child to suck and grow big. But you see, you are no longer using it for that purpose. You are using that breast now to attract the highest bidder. The man that can pay high is the one that will sleep on top of those breasts when there's rainy season. Yes.
Okay. Now, we are talking about the issue of selling our love. What is the situation of married men who are already married and their wives? Are they also under intense pressure to meet needs, financial needs? And the question I may also want to ask is, this pressure placed on men in exchange of supposed love, because it's not love when it's paid for. What is the money that is requested for, used for?
Now,
because you are in a relationship with a man has responsibilities. You may not just, you may not be married, or if you are married, the man is taking care of the kids, and then maybe for those who are in school, their parents are taking care of them. So this excessive pressure, give me money, I give you love. Money for what?
Now, Mr. Leo, one of the things we need to know about human wants, they said it varies, changes with different situations. That's why you see economists have not been able to put their fingers on how to satisfy human wants. They're not able to do it. So since we're talking about buying and selling here, commodity, so we're going to go to concepts of why people exchange things for things. Now, do you know that some of these girls who take this money from people have another boy that they give that money to?
Of course.
Yes, that's the concept that you need to begin to look at. Now, some of these girls, they can take this money from those guys that have the money, and then they have one boy that is very not even rich. They're dying for that one, and they can give all things. I did suffer, I did do all kinds of things. For some of you, they family appreciate me, they ever appreciate me. Yeah, girls understand what I'm trying to talk about.
In that case, they are also exchanging money.
The girls are given to these boys.
Yes, but they're also exchanging money. Money exchanges hands.
No, because we try to say that.
Which means that she's buying the love.
That's what we're trying to say that. Yes. Because Apostle was saying that men don't have what to sell. That is mostly women that have what to sell. So I'm trying to say that these girls that sell something also take the money to buy something. You know, they want to buy something that is their need. Now we have to also know that before a woman tells you no, she has a need. She has something that she wants. And if you cannot meet up with that, let's take for example, women are moved by what you can understand about their concept, about their nature, how you can understand. Somebody just like a guy that's funny. They just like someone that's funny. When you are funny, they can fall for you. You know. Now, another one is when I sleep with him, it doesn't satisfy me on bed. So now they go now for someone that can satisfy them on bed. And then you become a problem because they come and take money from you and go and give the one that can satisfy them on bed. So that is the buying process.
Yeah. What you're saying obtains here, but we are talking about a constant relationship. That is, you are with this guy.
But I'm trying to put you talk about the marriage. I'm going to the marriage.
Yes.
Why you see some of these things happening? Now, a woman will tell you that you not touch her until you buy her this thing.
Yes.
We are seeing all those things every day. A woman will tell you that if you don't give her money to do her hair, she will do this. These things are happening every day. Women will tell you that you have to buy me a car. You don't buy a car, there's a problem in the home. Why do you think every day we are talking and people are calling us and telling us that they have been in marriage for 6 years or 5 months or 1 year, they have never touched or anything? Because the man in the house does not yet identify the need of that woman, and the one that is outside there meeting those needs and everything, they fall for them. That is why you see they can take money from their husband and go and give that guy outside, because he knows how to handle her the way she wants to be handled. That's what we're trying to say. So when we want to talk about these things, we should be able to hold the concepts. We should be able to know how, some context, how they work. Marriage people are the ones that sell more in most cases, because you will see a woman will give a condition. Sometimes it is the man that gives conditions. Now, if you want to stay with you, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do it. And a lot of women are like slaves in their marriages today, because they have to do something extra for their husbands to love them. Is it not what's happening today? They have to do something extra. They must go extra mile before this man can pay attention to them. I'm talking like this. A lot of people are lamenting, they are crying because they don't know how they found themselves into that marriage. They use one or two other means, maybe that money you were looking for, and you enter the marriage and discover that the thing is sour. The man cannot satisfy you. And let me tell you something, you cannot marry a man for 20 years and then before you even wanted to marry, you know what it means to be satisfied sexually, and then you marry a man who cannot satisfy you for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That woman will riot. That's the truth. The woman will go astray. The woman will riot. Because of what? She knows how sex looks like. She knows how that feeling looks like. And then all of a sudden you are in a marriage and you get nothing out of it. It's a problem. So now the woman begins to do what? Begin to do that particular feeling. I need to get nothing for the man. Better I begin to sell something. I take money for you. I will give man for outside. Where if he do this kind of thing. That is what we are seeing today. And we must agree these things. If we want to help the society, we must get into this. Because a lot of people are doing the buying and selling something. They are exchanging something for something.
Yeah, but the essence here is to get people to love sincerely. Yeah. I would say that if it's sin, what we did when we were young is sin, because the Bible does not actually tolerate that. It means that some of us will never have dated ladies because we were very broke. But what we lived sincere love, where you would trek kilometers to go and spend the evening. You are living a remote quarter at 10 p.m.
That's a context. You're talking about a particular context.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But now, the internet has come and has brought so many new things. What people did not know, they now know. So now they have something to sell that they did not have to sell. At first, before you write somebody a message, you have to write a letter. Yes. And sometimes that letter will pass from one hand to the other.
You give it to the friend
yes.
who is going to that
to go and give.
Yes.
But now,
and then they're expecting.
You can stay in the house and don't go anywhere. You just text. How? Let me meet up. Just take money so you go buy a camphor or you go buy needle. Something that you know is very difficult to see. You go and buy razor blades. You know.
Okay.
Yes. You get up there, you go and buy biscuit. Biscuit when you know so you don't like avocho biscuit, but you come go buy biscuit.
Special greetings to you out there, Mr. Nengme. God love, who is watching us from Bomenda. Says shout out to Mr. Tankem, Christopher Che, prospective quarter heads and all that. Okay, good evening to you, Godi, who works with Lekam out there in Bomenda, and special greetings to all of those watching the program with you. And we'll take some messages so that we can respond to them. So many persons are already expressing their worries. I hope we are able to provide some answers to some of the worries expressed. So many of them. Greetings to to all on the platform. It's a pleasure chatting with you, sirs, on this particular issue of love becoming a business issue. Permit me, I said that relationships nowadays are looked by our ladies as a source of employment where they need to get paid and be taken care of. The Love Doctor will react to that. Just take note of that. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the wonderful apostles. This topic is very life-changing to this, our end-time generation. Women have weaponized sex with why men use money because that's the best language of our ladies today. Good evening to all the panelists. Mr. Liu, there is no love in this generation. Girls have put all their mind in money. If you bring love issues to a girl nowadays, she will tell you we don't hear that thing tire. So they have made us, the boys, to understand their language, money for down, back for ground. Even in some marriages, if you give a woman money that night, you will receive good names and good sex. Frank is writing from Kumbatown. Okay, good evening, Love Doctor. What is the fastest and quickest way to recover from a heartbreak? Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu, and to all the panelists. For over 6 years now, I have been single by choice so as to focus on other issues. Now that I want to marry, I find it hard making up my mind to even date. Sometimes I feel life will be more comfortable alone than with than with a lover. How can I change this? I wanted to read this so that you react to this. We may be seeing so many guys not dating, not getting married, not knowing that actually they have been battered, beaten, and placed so much demand by women that, listen to what somebody said, yes, that he is thinking that life is even better without a lover. Yes,
Mr. Liu, the truth is, look around. I'm talking with my milieu. Check most of my young pastors who have made money, the kind of money they've made at their age. Check, most of them are single. If you discover most of the people who have made money to a certain level without getting married, you discover they find difficulty in choosing because subconsciously something is always telling you, what is this girl here for? If I've talked with some of these people, you will discover that many of our young people who skipped a stage of getting married at a certain time of their life, because when they start making a kind of money that is very outrightly visible, yeah, yes, they start getting trouble selected because you will see how easy it is only with a car to change against direction on the road. I'm talking about someone who was going like this. You say, no, if I'm going to go down, so it already go down. Then you want to see the camera 3 days after. They say, if you really go outside that day. Now, this is the reality of it. Now, so I will give three, Mr. Leo, I'll give three reasons why many girls have begun to look at this love as a commodity. One, laziness. Laziness. My generation, or this time, the socio-cultural climate of this time is a lazy generation. People don't like to work. You will see, I was advising one lady the other day. I said, change your habit from anytime you have a need, don't look for who to borrow, who will give you. Check, how can I raise it? How many people think like that? Laziness. So everybody falls back and they see men as the easiest way. I always tell girls, it is so easy to become a prostitute. If imagine you discover that 5 minutes you have made 10,000, 5 minutes you have made 20,000. Trust me, before you know it, you might become a prostitute. Secondly, the generation responsibility. As a marriage counselor, I will tell you this: some of the most promiscuous girls that I have known are girls who have children. Girls, I'm talking about single mothers. They have become very promiscuous because it is easy to justify this act that I am doing for my child, yes, for the survival of my child. So that responsibility we have taken at this early age unnecessarily have made a lot of people to see love. That's why you see a girl say, no, I get my pikino. You be able to take care of my pikin. Some girls even say, my mommy no get money, now me pay my rent. Some people say this. So responsibility, I think even some mothers, you say, Mr. I know of a girl who is going to school and the child is paying the mother's rent 600,000. Like, where is it coming from? You see your child holding a phone of 1 million. And some of these mothers allow these children to do that, and the girls go and say, no, my mommy never suffer. If you are dating me, you have to take care of her. You know, those kind of things. So this responsibility that is coming on these people unduly has also caused this. And lastly, the social climate, social pressure. I was talking the other day about dating. Today, like we had that wonderful hangout on last Sunday that we had, and people came, there were drinks, we had fun, they had questions. And I was saying that after this, somebody will sit tell the boyfriend, will we really come on now? That means we are a generation where that thing that we are doing that is no longer fun. They need to go to WDC so that they will post and say, we'll be there, WDC. Girls will go out to a place, videotape in 3 different locations from that same place, and post in within the week as if they went to 3 different places. Yes, so in series, thank you. So this pressure, imagine Mr. Leo, a celebrity, I don't want to call the name here so that it does not look like an attack. A celebrity posted her reface, a girl, a popular camera artist, posted her reface. You cannot recognize her. And then another one came and said, this girl, you are a strong girl. That means, how have we gone so low a situation that to post your reface means you are strong as a girl? Now it comes to that package we were talking about, because all of this makeup, this extra hair. I was talking, there's a girl in my mission that does hair. She says, sir, you don't know, some of these students come and do hair 39,000, 42,000. That's house rent. That's house rent a girl will do, and it's not up to 1 month. That in 3 weeks they will change. So this social pressure, this need, most of the dating, I was telling that, say some of the enjoyment, Mr. Lou, that you will enjoy with your spouse, it will be during OH. Now Apostle Ambe is walking back and forth, but there will be a time that he will just be moving with his wife, and you know there is a time for everything. But now we have put this pressure on ourselves to meet up. You know, they say, hey, a guy taking a photo, I go today. He said, no, we can't have a La Vega for Douala, we don't go to Limbe. You know, these 3 things are some of the reasons why these people have taken upon themselves. So therefore, anytime you are talking to a girl is looking at, can you take responsibility of me? Will you take the responsibility I have? If I am not working, will I still have if I'm not doing anything, will I still have something to make? And if I'm dating this person, how can I show off with it? Is that not why somebody killed themselves? We began to see now that they were serving the person breakfast. They were go and see every day. They are showing all kinds of short videos about how girls are trying to prove love in our different areas and flaunting it. Look around. There's so much pressure. You want to do what Jay-Z did. You want to do what Rihanna did. All these pressures have made relationship. How many people can be in a relationship and be low-key? Okay. How many?
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Money has been the order of the day. Love is far from affection. So money can buy love. Our mentor is writing from Bomaka. Mr. Leo, please, I wish to correct that statement. Men have become irresponsible nowadays, and that is why many women have become wise. A man wants his position but refuses to provide. How can we justify this case? Good evening, Mr. Leo. Apostle Alfred's logic is not conceptual. We are talking here about extremes or basics. Women generally don't give or fund men. Very few, they buy hair and iPhones. Nkwenti is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, my name is Bar Linus from Ambe. Of all the qualities that contribute to a healthy, happy marriage, love is often foremost on nearly every person's list. This speaks volumes about the power of love and what it can do to help maintain a relationship. Love is what usually turns a good partnership into a great one. Love can turn lovers into best friends. The importance of love in marriage is nearly endless. After all, marriage is not always an easy arrangement. Without love, you would never be able to have the drive, attention, selfishness. Yes, this is an ideal situation. Do we still have this in relationships, that without love we cannot be together, without this we cannot be together? But also I want you to react to this. I'm sure it's a lady who says us, we should correct the statement. Men have become irresponsible nowadays, so women have become wise. A man wants his position but refuses to provide. How can we justify this situation? That is, you are into a relationship. The relationship serves as a job for you. Mm-hmm. It is from the relationship now that you get money to this, you get money to this. Why don't we think that we can also contribute in a relationship, because we are building a family?
Mr. Leo, I said one time on this platform categorically clear that marriage is not an employment. Neither is it a job opportunity. The reason why most women are enslaved in marriage is because they see themselves as housewife. There is no profession as housewife. There is a potential that God created you and deposited in you that he has sent you on earth to accomplish. Marriage should not swallow that potential. Marriage should not be a graveyard where destinies are buried. Marriage should not be a place where abilities are swallowed. Before you go into a man's house, you must first and foremost be a wife. You don't go and be a wife in a man's house, because a man gets married to a wife. And who is a wife? There's a difference between a girl, there's a difference between a lady, and there's a difference between a wife. So you should be able to know whether you are a wife, or you are a lady, or you are a girl. Who is a wife? A wife is a helper. That means to say the person has helped herself before going to meet a man to help a man. It's a lady that walks into a marriage thinking there's an employment or a job opportunity. It's a girl that walks into a man's life thinking that the man is source of income. But a wife is a helper. And you cannot help somebody if you have not helped yourself. So you should be able to understand that. So when you say men have become irresponsible, the man's irresponsibility is only shown because of your laziness. You are too lazy and very uncontributive to the extent that you are beginning to find out how the man is irresponsible. If a man is not responsible, your responsibility should be strong enough to sustain you in a home. We are not encouraging men not to provide for their families. As a matter of fact, you should be able to understand if a man is going through a challenging period or he's deliberately lazy enough to carry out responsibility. There are people who have fed their family for 10 years. The moment they lost their job, become jobless, their wives also became something else. What was the value the woman brought to that family? These are not the days where women are called as housewife. I grew up in my birth certificate. It was written my mother's profession was housewife. There is no job like housewife. Make yourself a 21st century woman who has relevance in the society. Ladies walk into marriage, see it as employment. Girls walk into marriage, see as job opportunities. Wives walk into marriage, see themselves as contributors. So when you say men have become irresponsible, it means you are super irresponsible yourself to have said men are irresponsible. One other thing I want to appreciate here and emphasize on is that we live in a jet age. As a matter of fact, there is a rush of so many men over one woman. In the era where there was no social media, there was no television, girls were found in particular community. But this time around, a girl will post her picture on social media. They are calling her from Japan, China, Germany, France, England, Cameroon. When many people rush after a product, the price becomes difficult, expensive. The reason why our girls have become expensive because when they package themselves and put on social media, somebody is chatting her from Germany and sending money, someone from Canada, the other one from China, the other one from France. That girl has now become a commodity. And when many people are rushing over a product, the product price must change. But your mother grew in a village. Before your father saw your mother, he told a friend said, go there. And that father was the only person that saw her. Maybe the friends realized that your father had taken that girl, all of them withdrew. Not in the age where you are behind a girl. As I'm talking to you here, Mr. Liu, there is somebody from China calling that girl, another from Germany, because the girl just posted her picture around the beach area on social media. Your friend is rushing. So when most men run after a woman, she now becomes a product that who is the highest bidder pays for. That's one other thing we have to lay emphasis on this platform.
Yes.
I think people don't seem to understand that we live in a jet age. And because of that, girls now have decided to sell themselves to which of the guys is paid high. If the man in Germany sends 200 euro, the guy in Japan sends 1,000 yen, the other person in Canada sends $2,000. Man, Mr. Liu, she will be focusing where the dollars is high. Because where the currency is high is where love is coming from, according to them. Because the product has become a very huge demand in the market, and there are many people after it. Not in the age whereby a girl can be beautiful around Fundong. You will not see the girl here. I won't see the girl. The girl's beauty will circulate all around Fundong, and the person that will be lucky enough to catch her there will catch her there. Not the case where a girl is beautiful in Fundong. Right now in Douala, I know the girl is beautiful in Fundong. Somebody in Germany knows that the girl is beautiful in Fundong. Somebody in France. So everybody around the world is rushing after the girl. Even if the girl was packaged for love, she must become a product.
That's on TikTok.
You understand?
Yep. How Oh, let's take a listen from Mr. Sanji, also contribute to what we are discussing out here in Douala. Mr. Sanji, come in, please.
Honestly, Mr. Leo, the truth is that the lives that youths have decided to live, it's a life that you see most of them end up dying. Once that life is no longer there, it's difficult. I have a case I'm counseling right now. This guy, he has been into scamming, and unfortunately, it is no longer working. And when you tell him go and get something doing, he looks at that process of answering yes sir to somebody, and then at the end of the day, they give him either 50,000. At the end of the month, they give him either 50K for salary. I mean, that's the money that he takes breakfast for. That's his breakfast. So you see that the desire to live very high kind of life is what has pushed our youths into doing anything in the name of money. And when they have started touching this kind of money, they find it difficult to go back to a normal kind of life. Unfortunately, we cannot even talk about love anymore in relationships. Once there is money, there is love. Even young girls will tell you, yeah, there's money, there is love. Hey babe, I love you, because they know that they can get this and get that from you. And I want to say that especially ladies that have gone to the university or wherever, let's say university, you know where you're coming from. You know that your mother is struggling. Like I was at the Bamenda back market, as they call it, to do my hair. And one woman was telling me, see, it is the 1,000 that I've been working from here that I've sent my daughter to the university. So your mother is getting 1,000 to send you to the university. You might not go to the university and meet what? A guy, a scammer who can save you breakfast like 500K, like we had that case. What happens? Automatically you are brainwashed. Everything that is centered on that guy. And then it happens that tomorrow the guy is no longer there. You find it difficult to go back to your normal 1K that your mother might even provide for you. Please, ladies should know when you go to the university, you know where you're coming from. Don't try to measure to lift up your shoulders to reach the level where others are living. Some might be coming from very rich backgrounds, and you, since you're not coming from a rich background, you might try to level up with them by doing what? By getting into those kind of wrong relationships. If there's any relationship today that is all about money, please, I want to advise the young ladies, the earlier you start withdrawing yourself from it, the better. Because tomorrow when that relationship will end, you will not think of any other thing. Or I better advise you to do what? Get something doing. Have work, have something that you're doing. We are not in the century where women still depend on men, like largely depend on men. Women are doing their things. Women are pursuing career. Women are ministers. Women are this. Women are that. And the honest truth is that in the nearest future, people will get married because of money. In fact, it has been happening, and it's still happening. I counsel a lady. She got married for money, and she thought that money was going to give her all the happiness that she deserves or that she needs. Guess what? She said she's in a mansion, she has cars, she has at least 4 mates. But guess what? The man is never available and she's not happy. So she came in for counseling and said, oh, okay, if you married for money, you got married for money, then don't expect attention, don't expect love. And if the men know that you're coming for the money, they'll give you the money, but they will torment you on top of the money. Don't become a toy in somebody's hands for them to torment you because of what they know that they are giving you, and because they know that you cannot do without them. Ladies now wear, young girls, teenage age, 18, 19, they now wear human hair of 500,000 that even, their mothers will not even dream of wearing it till they die. Love is not a commodity. We have changed the narrative of relationships and have put it so much on money. Everything now is about money. If you don't have money, no, you are not ready for love. That's how these young girls look at it. And the young girls in particular, they have spoiled it. And so when I say that if you get into a relationship for money, please don't expect love from it. Don't expect attention. Don't expect maybe, I don't know, the care, any other care that is like coming from them, like the kind of attention that you need. Just be expecting your money and live with it. But many of them get into a relationship for money, and then the next thing is that they're hoping that love will not add to it. And the man knows that you are here for money, so I give you the money. What's your problem? And then some of the men will even date 2, 3 of you, even friends. I'm giving you the money. You have no say. So please, love is not a commodity. And so we should stop making love look like it is now sold in exchange for money. You cannot buy love. When Christ died for us, we did not pay him. He loved us and he died for us. So I think ladies in particular should correct this mindset of if there is no money, there is no love. That love can exist wonderfully well in the absence of money.
Who has tolerated this? Is it parents or so who see the very flashy lifestyles that their children live and would not seek to know where the money is coming from, or those who would even permit boyfriends, fiancés to spend lavishly, not only on their daughters, but on themselves, or the men of God themselves, because some men of God are aware of what some sisters do in church, who would still give their blessings because maybe the sister is also giving fat tithes in the church. And is it a society that is also tolerating it? It is true that we say, oh, it's because of TikTok and that, but there are also some ladies who are on TikTok who are still responsible.
Yes, actually, people are greedy. It's mostly people from a greedy family that begin to tolerate some kind of excesses. Because I cannot stay in my house and then a young boy, I don't know what the person is doing. I've made my finding, I discover that he's not getting a good job or something, and I begin to collect things from the person or expect something from the person. That is how it is. Now, if these people were taking this money and investing the money, maybe you take that money, open a restaurant or open a good business for yourself, that in case things turn sour, you will have something to fall back on it. It would have been different. But you will take that money and chop. Since it's people's sweat and people's blood, so the thing is that it cannot work for you. And one of the things that will happen is that you will kill yourself expecting that you are not even the one that killed yourself per se, but it's the spirit behind the money you are chopping that kill yourself. And these guys also, they spend this money lavishly because the money cannot be used for anything good. The money cannot be used for anything good, because you check the history of scammers and all the like. Their life always end up miserably, and even what they invested in, it cannot really go. There's a particular building around Biaka there in Moliko there. I got a story that this particular building, this guy scammed some people in abroad, and then came, built the house, and then was going back again to see how to go and do so.
Okay, who was killed?
Yes, no, was killed. Yeah. You understand? That is how this thing works. A lot of these guys spends lavishly. You go and buy cars. That's why there are some particular cars that if they are coming on the road, the police people are stopping it, because they know that it's only scammers that can buy such cars. That is it, because these small cars that are 4.8, 5 million, 6 million, they know that civil servants will not want to buy those kind of cars. They want to buy maybe Mercedes or some kind of other normal cars for 3 million, 2.5 something. But these scammers will buy these cars for 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, 7 million, and they will buy it and be driving it. And the question you're asking yourself is that who are the people benefiting from these things? Because when they see you coming, they just take the police people collect their own money from there. It's okay. Then maybe friends, they collect their own money from there, it's okay. And then look at these girls. Now I want to still call the attention of these young girls who doesn't have the mind of investment. You don't have the mind of investment. You came to study in an environment called the university, or maybe you are living in a particular community where you came to better off your life, and then you can see somebody who can give you 500,000 francs for breakfast, and then you will not use that opportunity that you could get that 500,000 francs at that moment to do what? To invest invest your money, invest it for something, or keep it and begin to work your documents secretly, maybe to travel and get a better life somewhere out there. But no, you want to chop the money or you want to compete. Now, do you know that girls don't dress to please men? Girls dress to compete with their friends, and that's what the problem is. You don't buy hair for 120,000. Me too, I go buy my own hair for that kind of money. That girl is shoeing where I'm una see am. Me too, I want to get that shoe, and so on and so forth. That's why you see this lavishness. They spend this money carelessly, and one of the most miserable things you can ever think is parents will be collecting money from a girl they know don't have a job. They know it's a student. They collect money. They say, "Na masagi, na boyfriend, na egi," and so on and so forth. And then you don't even know the source of which that money is coming from. And I tell you, any blood money will end up on the by blood. Blood will always go for blood. Anything that people sweat that you collect carelessly, and you want to feed it for in the name of love or whatever. Because some of these guys who even give those kind of money, they don't even spend time with these girls. They don't even spend time, all those kind of things, because these girls will still take this money and will go to another boy who will be doing all the satisfaction and so on and so forth. I will still tell you this thing, my boys, now that you see that these girls have spoiled, know until when I only you want, know I'm fine. That's what I will advise you. Know until when I only you want, you know I'm fine.
Yeah, but somebody says, somebody wrote that what you are saying is true, but this is extreme. It's not common.
What's that?
That every time you give money to a girl, she also goes to give to another.
Yeah, that's not really common.
It's not common. How can you say it's not common? When you see a girl has 3 boyfriends.
Yeah, but it's to collect.
Sometimes they collect.
Apostle, the analysis that you made about those boys. When you hear, this one take for do this one, this one take for.
But some collect for themselves.
When you hear that girls today playing Jangi for 100,000, 200, 250,000, they are living a very good mansions and that.
Yes.
They are not collecting from one person.
Yes.
Now, man, people will finally chop that money for that girl. I tell you.
That's like,
yes.
Not the person who sells here more is a woman.
It's a woman.
Okay.
The woman is the one that sells the money. You don't see men inflating their booty and their breasts.
So what we are trying to say here is we are trying to call the attention that there are some people somewhere benefiting from all this lavishness.
Yeah, it might still be family. It can be their mom.
It can be family. It can be one year boy somewhere.
But the focus of the question was the pressure that is, or the tolerance of the society to push these ladies into this.
But that's what we are talking about. The tolerance.
Yeah, but
now you know that you have a girl. The girl is not working. It's your girlfriend. Is bringing heavy money to come and give you. And what are you thinking? You chop it. You take the money and you're using it. And sometimes you're the one that even come and tell you that I don't have this, I don't have that. Is it not happening? We have girls in Moliko that are paying house rents for boys. We have girls in university areas that are the ones paying house rent for boys, for their boyfriends. That what is happening? What are we not seeing? We have seen all those kind of things. It's always happening each and every day. Now let me tell you something, Mr. Liu. I will call this thing very clear. Let people focus on their relationship and build structure in relationship. Let your relationship not be built on money. Let your relationship not be built on things that can easily vanish. Let your relationship be built on emotions, built on that particular strength of effectiveness, love, as I try to talk about.
Apostle, a noble woman should not be won in a relationship with money.
That's
Any
perfect.
woman that has value and dignity,
Yes.
money should not be the prerequisite to penetrate you. If you can be trapped with money, you are too cheap.
But also Apostle, even if you don't get a woman with money, you get a woman with nice talk and whatever, then she comes in and you cannot satisfy that woman. What will happen?
What do you mean by satisfy?
Satisfy, because some people cannot.
What do you mean by
satisfy.
satisfy?
That
Yeah,
one
because
is
you
a
keep
topic for
emphasizing
another
on that, but I had a meeting with some girls last week.
Yes.
Sincerely speaking, there were 7 of them, and they said that thing where they talk, say they so get man the sex well. When they do it once, twice, thrice, they don't want
After
to.
a while, yes. If they
What interests them now is the money. I had a session with very, I don't know, beautiful girls.
Extremists.
Yeah, but that is the extreme that you are saying.
That's the extreme.
You give the impression that once you can satisfy a woman well, that is all.
Yeah,
No, I didn't say that is all. I'm saying that do everything to work on those areas of your life.
Yeah, you satisfy the woman very well, and after 1 month you cannot provide for her, she goes elsewhere where they can provide, because they will tell you that we don't eat that.
Well, For girls who are still, that's what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah, because the impression is, okay, if you can do good sex for your wife or for your woman or for a girl, okay, you are guaranteed. Majority, they will sleep with you for 1-2 weeks and they're gone.
Yeah. Those are people who are still hustling. Students, let me tell you, when they graduate, they don't do the same like when they were in university.
Okay,
students, that's what it is.
Yeah, but how do we get back to always where people genuinely love, people plan for the future, and when you are into these things because of money, 10-20 years down the line, can such a relationship actually lead to a good marriage? Or even in marriage, can that marriage blossom?
Even Mr. Somebody came to me the other time and was telling me that I've been with this guy for 1 year or something. The guy wants to marry me. I don't want to marry the guy. I said, so what's the problem? He said, no, but the guy takes care of me. I said, so how come you were the person with a year plus and you discover that the girl knows that this is not the kind of man I want to be with, but because of what the man was offering, she stayed in the relationship. In fact, I always advise, especially my mentees or people who value my advice, I tell girls, I said, if you can perceive based on your value system and where you are heading that this is not the kind of man, avoid taking from the person. Stop even claiming that. Some people say, I'm not asking, sometimes you try to justify this thing one way or the other. I think we can only go back when we start building, when we start having people who have a value system. And the truth there is, it's two ways. I know it's very easy also to build, to just affect to talk about the women. But I discover that if a man, there are some men also who have refused to buy what these people are selling. Okay. When they also know where they are going to. No, it's true. Some people, I think, if we also refuse to start buying, they will start. Small sense will come, because the truth is, the more they put in, look at everything, Mr. Look at our songs, look at our love songs. It goes back with this work we are doing here, where you understand the purpose of marriage, the purpose of relationship, and then we start building those value systems. Because imagine that the average, if people are not, because if you have something you're selling, even in business, they tell you that if you have something, put it out and people are not buying, you yourself, you will start looking. Yes, you will start looking at it again. I think we, both the guys and the girls, need to start looking at this thing from a value system. Because as long as we have cheap boys and as long as we have cheap girls in Church Street, in Limbe, they call it Church Street, ironically, it's 1,000. They are literally following you. You are passing, the girl say, come no, because I go move small thing. Before morning hour. You see, all of those kind of things. Where are we heading to? Very young people on the street. So I think we are moving. In Moliko now that's become a normal thing. 18-year-old girls doing that. What for? So I think it can only go back if individuals, and we create, because you cannot force it. Look at how things have become, even the values have dropped. A girl is claiming to advertise hair on her status, but she's shaking her breast. She's shaking but yes. Look at our songs, Mr. Leo. Look at all the love songs we are promoting. How are they describing wife material? You get breasts, you get nyash, you be wife material. No, look at the song. Listen to the lyrics of the song. All the song. I said one day, I asked one girl, how many loves have you ever heard? They say, oh, look at this girl, see how she can solve mathematical equation. Have you ever heard that kind of love song? No. The girl, even the boy that is singing the song, the girl the vixen on that song is not looking like his own girlfriend at home. That means they go and look something that is descriptive of something else. The shape, his own girlfriend does not have that shape. So that is what we have been selling through graphics, through videos, so it's a work. I think it's a corporal work, Mr. Lo. It's a work of the community. Our social cultural and ethical values must step up. If not, we are not having those mothers. Look at how our mothers used to be calm in the stress of everything. Like even how he's saying, this sex thing.
Yeah, we are complaining, but we are the same persons who said our mothers were enduring and claiming that that they were not enjoying. I'm sure, but look at we had this discussion, was it last
Yes.
week? Yes, we claimed that our mothers were enduring, and that this generation are
just
better than civilized. They want to enjoy life. How do you enjoy life? By putting extra pressure. Exactly. But can this also explain the high rate of we have strokes among younger people are dying of stroke? And do men today live with greater pressure because of the demand placed on them by either their wives, especially for those who have 1, 2, 3? Because you have to satisfy them, and for what?
Mr. Leo, neither of those things are responsible. I think our education has a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, we have thought about IQ. IQ is intelligent quotient. IQ is the ability to memorize, the ability to store information and dispense when needed. But you see, we have not been taught about EQ. EQ is emotional quotient, the ability to control emotions. And I think there is no course in any school in our nation that teaches emotional quotient. Yes. People do not have control over their emotions. And that is the reason why you see most people who are very sound mentally, they act stupid. A man who has an A grade in his PhD thesis ends up committing suicide. He has IQ, not EQ. You understand? We equally have another cure which is called social quotient, the ability to interact. Life has shown that those who have emotional quotient and those who have social quotient succeed more than those who have IQ. Yes. That's why you see those who have the A grade in school don't succeed in life, because they are emotionally dumb, they are emotionally foolish, they are socially very interactive. Then you have an adversity quotient, the ability to sustain shock. Most people you see commit suicide die like the game we all committed suicide and died. She might have scored probably an A grade in the university or had a 3.5 GPA, but unfortunately she did not have emotional stability to weather storm. She did not have that stability to sustain. So I think that people must be trained in this area of emotional intelligence. This is one area we are lacking in education, that it kills more people than coronavirus, it kills more people than HIV and AIDS, it kills more people than any accident on earth. Because why? Your emotion is the seat of your nervous system. That is what controls your entire nervous system. Once your emotion has a breakdown, it paralyzes your entire system. So people don't seem to understand that when you are in a relationship, it is not your IQ that is there. It is not your EQ, it's your EQ, that is your emotion that is there. And your emotion must be that kind of emotion that when you have that kind of shock, you must have the ability
to shock it,
to stand the shock. That's the reason why every car has shock absorber, because there are gutters on the way. In that relationship, it's a journey. On your way to that journey, there are gutters on the way. You must have shock absorber. You are climbing Kombu, you are climbing Santa when the roads are bad in the emotional journey. You will gallop around Kombu, you will gallop around Santa, you will gallop around Babaji, you will gallop around Matase, and then you realize that you don't have shock. The car will break down there. There are people that if a girl tells them that is no longer interested in them, they will lock themselves in the room. There are also girls, if a man tells them that the man is no longer interested in them, please let me tell you something. That man is in your life for a season and for a reason. Once they are no longer interested, let that season and that reason pass. As a matter of fact, you were not born with them. As a matter of fact, you were not destined to die with them. As a matter of fact, nobody's presence should be strong enough to influence your existence on earth. People come to your life to contribute, and you to contribute in their life. The moment they no longer have value in your life anymore, let them be history in your life. To be attached to somebody emotionally to the extent where the person's departure causes you to either drink poison and die, commit suicide, or hang yourself, then you do not have control over your emotions. There is a scripture that I love, Proverbs 25, verse 28. It says, "A man who has no rule over his spirit is like a city whose walls are broken down." A man who does not have rule over his own spirit is like a city whose walls are broken down. I'm yet to see the woman that will tell me that I'm no longer interested in you. Then I begin to sleep for one night. Somebody will tell me, I'm going to say, never fall in love, my friend. All of us are falling in love. But we have grown our emotion to the extent where nobody's presence or absence is strong enough to determine how I live my life on earth. So for you to have killed yourself is because you did not build a very strong emotional intelligence. As a matter of fact, you must have certain pillars you are standing on. Things that actually do not count on men. You don't depend on men. Because most young girls who fall into relationship, that affection, that bond, I've told my wife, and I'm sitting on television, that before she met me, I gave my heart to God. What I have given her is my liver. My wife knows she had my liver, not my heart. And I told her that if at all she gave her heart to God, she should give me her liver. Anybody who comes to God, the first thing that God asks is, give me your heart. My son, give me your heart. Yes. My daughter, give me your heart. If truly you gave your heart to God, it will not be in the hand of any man. It will not be in the hand of any woman. That is the reason why most women take their lives and their heart and give to a man. The man takes that heart in his hand and knows that you depend on him. They bounce it on the ground like table tennis. After bouncing it, you experience shock. That is the issue. You take your heart and give to a man. My wife has my liver, and if I love her a lot, I can add her my kidneys. But my heart is with God. The only person that I know when I stand and there's nobody around me, he can still stand with me, is God. And this is the reason why you see most people are battered, shattered, commit suicide. I heard of a man that drank poison and died. The girl in Buya killed herself because he said, well, they say it's her friend. Her friend took away her guy, and then I was wondering if it is the money that he was giving her that killed her, or it was truly love. Because that guy used to sell her with breakfast of 500,000. So she was thinking that I will sit like this, and this me will not enter me anymore. I think it's time for me to end it all. But all that boils down to total foolishness. May her soul rest in peace. But she died foolishly, and I'm not advising anybody to die like that. As a matter of fact, nobody should go and die for any other person. Jesus Christ died on the cross, and that death is enough. It suffices every other death that you need to die. Not that you are dying for a man or dying for a woman. You just go and watch telenovelas, you read Romeo and Juliet, you read all kinds of novels that talk about love, and then when they becloud your mind, you start seeing yourself in the shoe of those people. No, nobody should be strong enough or his presence to take away your life.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's true, everything is becoming expensive. Love that was just I love you is being replied by Momo, but yet I still respect those hardworking ladies. Mr. Kevin is writing from Boya. Mr. Kevin, good evening. Oops, the messages are so many. I'll read a few of them. I'll read 4 or 5 of them. Tawe Titus in Foncha Street, Bamenda. Love used to exist in the past, but now love mostly comes when money is available. Women develop love mostly when money is involved. Many women have but love for money, not natural love. Notwithstanding, some few ladies still try to develop true love. We appreciate those ladies that still develop love. Most of the dating problems in our society is from social media. The attention our girls get from social media has overinflated their perceived value and makes them think the kind of man they can attract is the highest value man. And the hypergamous nature of a woman has existed since the beginning of time, and social media has just made it very accessible, making them attracted to the few men who have a certain high status and money. My fear is this is making the average man to suffer, and will also lead to the high rate of unmarried girls at the age of 30 and above when they start thinking of settling down, because no man will no longer be interested in them. Chap Nick is writing from Yaoundé. Can this also justify the high rate of an age group of ladies in church with the #1 prayer point married? Because at the time they were ripe and they had many suitors, they were going for money left, right, and center. And by the time they say, I want to settle down for a man, it is becoming a little bit later.
I would not want to conclude on that because the church has so many religious principles that have kept ladies in the church.
Okay.
The church have put so many laws that keep people in the church, and there are so many processes that you have to go through before you finally get married. And even to get married, sometimes the boys are not courageous enough to go through your pastor or through the leaders of the church or through the church committee. So they begin to, shy away from so many things. So many other factors can account for the mature girls in the church. So many other
factors. I'm not talking about those in church. That is, after you have lived this life where you are going out with 1, 2, 3, and you see that this time is coming out. It's catching up with you. That is when they invade the churches.
Yes, and it's very common today because they come to church and they are not ready to change, but they are ready to marry. Yes, they are not ready to marry. So a lot of boys are wise these days. They don't marry in the church anymore, and sometimes they want to marry in the church. They go and they take their time and then study you very well and go through a lot of things before they can marry, because they know that a lot of young girls, even these girls we are talking about that are doing all these things, and they're church members.
Yes.
Most of them, you go now, they are ushers in the church.
Yes.
Some of them are protocols. They're with Papa. You know, they drop money. Papa, the seed that they bring in the church is very heavy sometimes, and Papa is Papa's daughter. And they have now decided to put some of them. They don't function. There are some of them that don't function in anything in the church. They call them their pastor's friend. You see, the pastor's committee. There's a committee in the church that's called pastor's committee. They are the ones that take care of the pastor. They just want to come and they begin to rub around daddy with that strange spirit. And then you see that the pastor's spiritual life begin to be very weak. And you don't know where this thing is coming from, but you have allowed strange people to come around and just turn around you. They're not ready to change. And if you go somewhere and meet maybe your own members of your church, and you'll be so surprised. You don't ask that this is your member of the church, you will not even believe that this is your member of the church, because the way they have disguised and the way they are operating, you'll be so shocked about everything. So that's exactly what I want to say, that in this particular journey, we have to be careful how we operate with our lives, because there is time for everything. Now you have the strength to move about doing one or two things. Then when the strength is out, you will find yourself in the church, and then you don't know what to do. That's why I tell church brother that before you want to marry again, the church, find out what they know. Because if you don't find out what they know, you will find out, you will take a wife inside the house where you will not even know how to manage that particular woman, and she will become a thorn to your flesh. What she will demand, she'll be demanding high, money, this kind of a thing, and then her emotional drive are very high, and you don't know what to do. Before you marry in the church, please take your time, know what you want to do, and know how to go about it, so that you don't get tomorrow and begin to insult women for nothing. No, because you are the one that did not do your search. Because if you did your search, you are not going to come to the point where you want to say you marry a woman and you don't know that it was in the church, and because they are marriage is every day. 2 months they are divorcing, 1 year they are divorcing, because of what? You got married to something that you didn't know how it was going to go. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Whatever you don't know in terms of life, you will be living in a dream world. You come to church, you meet a girl who has known so much about life. She knows so much about life, so much. And then she has come to church. And then you just come up, an innocent brother or so innocent sister, and you go and get married to such people. Master, it not go easier. It not go easy, and then you begin to use church again to cover. Don't use church. See, learn and study your partner individually. Don't assume that church has covered everything, or you begin to say, no, the blood of Jesus has washed everything. No, there are some things that blood of Jesus take time to wash it, especially if people are not open up to the blood of Jesus to watch it. That is exactly what is happening today. A lot of them go to an environment, university environments. They are members of churches. Most of these young girls, young boys, they are members of churches. You ask them, they are Christians. You ask them, they are born again. You ask them, they are in one thing or the other. Some of them are musicians in the church. They play music in the church, and they even sing in the choir and everything. But they are into all these practices, and that's what we're trying to say, that this period in which we are, people must take their time to study and to know who they want to live with and who they want to be with. If you know that somebody is expensive, please don't go for expensive people. And some people may not be expensive, but they are more dangerous and they are more tactical, because their demands are higher than what you expect. Now, they may not ask for money. What else do you think that they'll be asking? They have other things they'll be asking. Now, are you ready to provide those things that these women are asking or these men are asking? It is so demanding. You marry a person, he will be telling you that you want to do it this other way, and you say you're not used to. You're not part of it. You say, no, that's how he's used to. And that's how he wants to go about this thing, and it becomes a problem. There is a lot of argument in marriages today, because people assume that because I met this person in the church, so I should just flow like church people. No, they know things you don't know. So begin to find out. If you realize that you love that person so much, try to learn and to know what they know, so that you can be able to match up with what they are, so that people can balance yourself together and live together.
Mr. Sanji, I don't know whether she has a third intervention on this same topic. Can we have your last intervention on this topic, Mr. Sanji, all the way from Birmingham, the Northwest Regional Capital? I'm told that there is no other contribution from her, but we have just 19 minutes. Should we go to our second topic? Because already late. We conclude with this one. Next week we get to the issue of privacy. Yes, but how in the past we used to say, Papa, I feel that I love this boy, so I die for him. Is it possible today? Is there sincerity in our moving into relationships based on love?
I think sincerity is a word that does not apply only to relationship.
Okay.
That is where we have a problem.
For now we are talking relationship. Today we are talking about that.
No, you're not getting me. I'm saying that sincerity is not a word that applies only to relationship. My point being that sincerity will be what these people were, not just because they wanted marriage. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Because a lot of time, for example, Mr. Leo, I have a problem even when pastors, a woman will come to church today, and the first thing you are teaching the woman is how to hear God on who to marry. Are you understand what I'm trying to say? So sometimes when we separate certain things, we might not have the good result. You look at it like how we're talking about our mothers of the day. Look at how the tenacity they had, the focus they had. My mom. That means my mom will give account of every money my dad leaves for him to the last 100 francs. Today you can keep your trouser, your girlfriend thief money for insights. This is I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Leo. I'm saying that sincerity has been eroded all round. If the average girl, you cannot know her real face, how can we be sincere with love when they cannot even show you their natural face? They have put 6 layers, 8 layers. Before you get to sleep, she's moving as if she's moving concrete. It's coming down like that. The boobs that you are seeing, the day you see the real one, then you will know that you had but something else. The girls have all kinds of creams: ankle cream, left ear cream, back neck cream, Botox cream. You see, it is like the value system has been eroded. So if we start talking about that sincere love, and that is why we have to start looking at how sincere are we in our pursuits. You understand? For example, if you are a man who has consecrated themselves, that word consecration is not a pastoral word. I'm talking about a man who has set himself apart. This your work, for example, is so important to you. If you know where you're going to, you will be so concerned about who you are bringing around. Sometimes these guys don't care about who they are bringing about because they have never made up their mind. I told one girl, I said, the day a boy makes up his mind to marry, it is said he die on 12 o'clock. That means on neutral, and start looking at things he was not looking before. Yes. You were the drinking partner. Where you come, they say, we'll start with no, so give me some 7 Heineken a day. Where people have drank and drank and drank. The day he said, but now which guy go settle? A guy will date a boy for, a boy will date a girl for 4 years and meet another girl for 6 months and marry. Why? You see, because when we are sincere in our pursuits, when we are sincere in our perspective of life, I think we will now also have sincere relationships, because you will not want to play with somebody that, because you don't want also that they should maybe I think it starts at that individual level. So yes, it can be found, and we must stop being afraid, because all this we are saying is not to say that people should become afraid and give up, because no matter what we say, love is what we cannot give up on. Even Jesus, Papa God, has not given up on love, so we cannot give up on love. It is something that we'll be pursuing, but I think it encompasses how we see life. If everything about life requires packaging, you will discover that we will package like that also to have men. But if we are being sincere, you are honest in your pursuit, you are honest in yourself. How many girls today, some girls don't even know how their real toe look like, or their real nail, fingernail. They have put things onto, they have to come and cut their nails and clean everything. You see, that's the kind of superficial life we are living, and that's my concern nowadays, because until these things, these things are the leaves of the roots. So I think if we want to talk about sincerity in relationship, individually the people have to be sincere in who they are. We talked about the other time about how a guy claimed that he had a house when I married a woman, and then the woman finally came and discovered that it was the husband's friend's house that the man had. Like just like how Apostle Ambe says, Apostle Alfred said something here. Let me give you what happened the other day. I had a friend in church, a lady, some years back. Now she was ushering, and then she was giving me the gist. But after laughing, she said, "I said the usher, so I turned, so I see that party man. I said, which party man? He said, "I me maybe they do the night before. They were running." now he said, he said, "Run, come on for ushering." This thing, when the man look and see, he was in Boya. He said, "I'm supposed to I be there with you for Douala or yesterday night." So now look at yes. So look at the kind of shock that we are getting into. It has become so and it is so common when 18-year-old girls are already comfortable selling their bodies for flashy things to look like what you are not. Then we will not have sincere relationships. For sincere relationship, we have to be our true selves.
Okay,
our true selves.
Let's take a look at this image on our screen. Ella, can we have it? I'll read out what the person. Yes, that is. I'm sure that should be. I don't know whether it's a birthday cake. You see how much somebody has spent just to tell somebody, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Good evening to everyone there. It is horrible. Love has really become a commodity in this generation. I just watched on someone's status who does surprise packages, making money bouquet worth 300,000 francs from a guy to demand for a girl's friendship. Imagine if she accepts, he has to continue in that trade. Yes. Are we doomed? Are relationships and relationships in the future doomed, or how do we do this?
Yes, our relationships in the future are doomed because we have a lot of young men whom we call money misroute.
Yeah.
Okay.
This atrocity also is caused by the young men whom we call, in quotes, money misroute. The young men who don't know how to work money, they don't know what it takes to work money, they don't know the price you pay to get money. They do schemes and all kinds of manipulations to make money. And sometimes this money comes into their hand and they are unable to spend it, and then they just pour and lavish this money on ladies. When such a person introduces himself in the life of a girl, and that girl begins to see love from the angle of money, you will come with the real love. It will be difficult for them to ascertain, because what was introduced to them was that love was money. This thing has to do also with introduction. You cannot train a lion cub in eating fresh meat from birth and expect it to eat grass one day. They used to say no matter how critical the economy of the jungle is, the lion will never eat grass. That is what it was introduced to. And there is a story of a lion, a cub that was caught when it was still very, very young and taken and mixed among sheep. This particular lion cub was eating grass because it grew among sheep. That's what they trained the lion cub to eat. Until one day the shepherd went out to graze the sheep, and then lions came. This lion looked itself into the river and saw that it resembled the lions that came on the other side. From that day, its original identity came out. So when a girl is introduced also, that love is money, the day the person who introduced her, that love is money, is no longer there, the next person that is coming into that girl's life should be ready to pick up from where the first person started. That is another danger. Secondly, we have a group of young men who have stained their hands into occultic systems that there is this called, they call erosion, what's he? Mourir. These young men are people who are sometimes given 1 million francs to spend in a day. And how can you eat 1 million francs in a day? Sometimes they will stumble across a lady and open you breakfast for 500,000. That's how he has spent the money. A girl who receives breakfast for 500,000 will always need men who give her breakfast for 500,000. That means if you come tomorrow with genuine love and try to talk love, she won't see love as words, she won't see love as consent, she won't see love as sharing together, she won't see love as engaging as partners, building together. She will see love as money. So what they were introduced into is what they are holding on to. So I think some men also have also contributed in spoiling them. Also, there are sugar daddies. Young girls can no longer go out again with their age mates. I remember when I was a younger person in school, only 2 things could attract a girl towards you. Either you came from a very rich home or very intelligent. Some of us were very intelligent in school. It was our brain that even caused some of our age mates to accept us. You will see your classmate and your age mate is going out with somebody 2 times your age and is even calling you petit frère. Because the bigger person has introduced her to something, money, that you are still to get. It was difficult for you to be 20 years and go out a girl with 18 years. Difficult for you to be 20 years and go out a girl with 16 years. It was difficult. The only thing that some of us had as grace in those days was that when you come for us to teach you, because we were smart in school, we taught you the literature, taught you the history, and then also taught you the other subjects. That was how we survived. So it is very, very complicated. These sugar daddies come with sumptuous vehicles. They will sit a girl in one stand, give her 500,000, and then you are in the same school, the same university, the same level of 200 level, 300 level, 400 level, and then you are seeing her as your mate in school. You are thinking of even talking love to her when one daddy has packed Land Cruiser 2018 and giving the girl 500,000. She's looking at you like a junior brother she can help. She can even help. She's looking at you like a little brother she can help. Meanwhile, you are seeing her as your level, you see her as your age mate, you see her as your classmate. So the introduction to money by some of these scammers and also these sugar daddies, as well as these occultic guys, also have branded these girls to think that love has to do with money. We're not longer in the society where you write letters to a girl and you throw under the bench. You are the apple in my garden. You are the sugar in my tea. When I look around, I was perambulating the street of Jamaica. You were the only flower that stood along. People will read it. The teacher will catch it. When we go to school, teacher will arrest people that you were written love letter to a girl. It doesn't exist anymore. This time around, a girl of 17 years, they are greeting her with iPhone. Yes. As a matter of fact, if you don't buy a girl iPhone in Boya, you are not civilized. It's no longer a matter of being romantic. It's a matter of being civilized. It's a matter of being a man of value. It's a matter of being somebody of substance. So when you go to Boya, you don't buy a girl iPhone, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. You see young girls know all iPhone, all kinds of iPhone. I bought iPhone. My phone is iPhone. I don't know how to operate it. It is my niece who comes home and takes this iPhone and begin to teach me. And teach me how to operate my iPhone. That is to let you understand that we live in an age where girls now look electronic gadgets, dresses, matches, cars, and the rest as parameters for love. If it is not Peruvian hair, it should be Brazilian. If it's not Brazilian, it should be Costa Rica. If it's not Costa Rica, it should be Bosch. They have refused Chadian hair, Gabonese hair, Cameroon hair, Guinea hair, Central Africa hair, the one that comes from Peru, the one that comes from Brazil. And you will see a young girl who does not even have any bank account somewhere is wearing a mesh for 250,000 on her hair. And then you are in the same course with her, reading law, and then you carry a tiny one small studio. You want to say, I want to go because you are reading law and talking grammar. She will look at you and say, you two don't big go. Where sometimes you are even above her age-wise. There's some daddies in some corners. Yeah. Now these daddies are people who have grown out of it. Now girls can no longer accept them. Yeah. Clearly. They cannot accept them because of their age. They cannot accept them because of they are already out of fashion. Okay. But the girls will be bought over with money. Imagine you, Mr. Lou, as a young, handsome man. You want to go and talk to a girl where daddy has bought her mess for 250,000. She will say, the young boy, on a fear,
But I think we are going to run a series on this because many boys have written to me that they are scared to engage in any relationship because they don't know how to go about it. Yeah. They are looking for ways to plan their lives, and once they engage in a relationship, it means that you have to take care of your life and then take care of this girl even before thinking about the future. So we are going to be coming back to this next week. If God blesses now, we cannot do without God. So we have come to the end of today's edition of the program. But so many persons every day when they see, I think, cuts of these programs, every day from across the world, they say, Mr. Leo, we would like to be following the program. We would like to be following the program. Can we know more? Can we learn more? So I'm deciding to create a WhatsApp page. Anybody who is interested to be following up all the programs, the Tuesday editions, relationship and marriage, just indicate to me after this program. I will share the link of our Facebook page with you. The sole reason is that anybody who says, how do I follow this? I'll copy the links from our Facebook page. I'll drop in the WhatsApp so that you guys can go and follow the full program on our respective the respective editions on our page. So if you want to be added to the WhatsApp group, just indicate to me. I'll send you a link. You join it. It is not to be discussing or what. It will just be there to follow the programs. Anytime somebody says, please, can I have a link? I'll drop the link in the forum so that you click it and follow the entire program. We want to thank you for coming, Apostle.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. Thank you, people out there. I want to say that just always make your mind to know things, especially developing in your area of affection, so that you don't get embarrassed tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for coming.
Oh, it's an honor. I would like to say that emotional intelligence is a must. Your mental health should be a priority. And I want to thank all the amazing panelists for what they're doing here. I want to appreciate all our partners and those who came for the Meet the Love Doctor Live. Last Sunday was amazing in Boya. I appreciate all our partners. I appreciate my Major Prime also for the shout out. And we want to say that this topic, like I just saying, after the event we decided that people should decide what we should talk about next time. And they were saying that we should talk about relationship and money. In fact, I was just, that's actually what they told me. Yes, that's what they told me. That's what I agreed upon. Yes, that's what we'll be talking about next Meet the Love Doctor Live in April, which the day will be announced. So I think it's a beautiful thing and we are doing our best to do that. Those of you in the Southwest, I am the Love Doctor. You can always get to me for any relationship issue and I will be there to help you out. I am Lefor Divine. You can check me out on Facebook as well. Thank you.
Okay. Apostle Ambe Valentine, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Thank you, Congress. It's always a joy to be here to educate people and help marriages and relationships get better.
Okay, so for those who would want to be following our programs, please, on social media, on Facebook, when you miss or you join late, please, I will send a link to you to join a group. I will drop the links of almost all of the Tuesday editions so that you can follow it even in your respective homes. Thank you to the production team, Eli and Desmond, and also to you, Mrs. Essingue, Yvette, who came in from Bamenda, Northwest Regional Capital. Not forgetting Tabby, Dambe Bryant for supervision. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.